Hello again everyone, Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. I'm going to bring you a new video, and this is going to be on simming your character. And is it really that important? Yes, the answer is absolutely. You'll be able to pick up tremendous amounts of damage or healing on just gear you have lying around, because you probably know the rough stats, but simming optimizes the stats with the gear you have. So I did it on my DK, and I mainly tanked on the DK, so I know the stats were bad to play Frost, and I was just doing a little Frost in Raid. And I simmed it, and I was able to pick up 8% damage increase just by using different gear in my bag that I didn't know was going to be optimal versus what I had, like different ones I had on. And it's very easy. You just sim it, worked out, perfect. So I'm going to get into how you sim it, and yes, healers, you need to sim as well. There is now a site where healers can sim. So I do both as a monk. So I do a monk, and because I am fist weaving in M plus and raid, I'm not fist weaving usually, depending on the boss. I actually fist weave the first 4 bosses, but other than that, if you're getting into like the last few, I don't fist weave, and that's where you really have to weigh the sims versus each other. So first things, what are the sim sites? Well, the simulation sim sites, as you all know, one would be Raidbots. Raidbots does your DPS sims. So if you go to actually first, let me go back to WoW. First we'll we got to make sure we have simulation craft for your WoW. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Get simulation craft. Pick that up, and then once you click on it, you can just hit Control C. That will copy all your information. That's it. Then you can go to places like Raidbots. Raidbots is your DPS sim. So if you go into it, you go to top gear, you can only sim for DPS. Now it does do this for healers now. Before it didn't, but now it does. Tanks, healers, sim, DPS, not healing or survivability. So why would you want to sim DPS as a healer? Well, if you're doing Mythic Plus, knowing what will do the best DPS is always a great thing. There's a couple different things you can do in here. How many catalyst charges do you want to use? You always just want to click this max. So it uses max flight stones. If you want, you can click max aspects as well. But this will bring up all your gear. So you want to check what neck. Is that going to be a good neck? Maybe I'll check and see if you click the little plus button, you can upgrade it. And that will upgrade your neck. So you can see how your upgraded neck will be. And you can go down. Now, you'll notice at the bottom, with the combinations, you can only get a max of 300,000 combinations. Oh, I'm not even using my speed ones. Oops. Basically, so you can go through, click as many ones you want that will keep it under 300,000. I'll show you if you get over, like it just won't let you do it. So it says big red flags. You can't do it because you've clicked too many. Okay, fair enough. So you want to keep that, you'll have to keep that under, not want to, you will have to. It won't let you sim more than that. But you can go through and you can click different items to see what combinations would work great. Currently right now, if you hover over at the item, you can see I'm running Haste Mastery Ring and a Haste Verse. Well, I want to see what a Crit Mastery would do. And I want to check out maybe this one. Crit Verse. Oh, that put me over, so I can't do that because I want to sim another trinket. So once you've clicked on what you have, if you keep scrolling down, you can click on different weapons. And now you can assign enchants to the slot. So you always want Sylphic Devotion on slot 1. And this will standardize what you're comparing against so you know it's equal. If you want, I always have my gems. I have it set up as the primary haste and then haste crit. And that will keep it the same. And then when you're done, you just find top gear. So that's great. There's nobody simming right now. Very quick right now. Tuesdays, there's a lineup. But it will get into, once you're complete, it will bring up the list and say, hey, if you run this ring, it will give you a DPS increase of 774. Now, I have mine set to Patchwork 5 boss. It's just It just means it's going to be 5 bosses at one time, so it's just going to have a lot of health on 5 targets, rather than doing some of the other stuff. It kind of gives me an indication of like a strong pack in a high end M plus. That's all I do that for. You can actually sim single target. You can do their patchwork, but I find their patchwork's kind of wonky, so I don't use the patchwork one. Or sorry, not the patchwork. Their dungeon slice one. Their dungeon slice one I find is a bit wonky sometimes, so I use their patchwork, and then I do 5 boss if I want kind of an AoE thing. It's just 5, like a 5 pack that would have a lot of health. That's the only difference. So you can see this 2-ring combination is slightly less. You can see this 2-ring combination is basically is what I'm running, because you see this, and it says equipped on the left. And then you can see the different ones with the neck, and the neck is bad. It's not as good as the one I'm running. It's a negative, and this neck is a negative, obviously, because it's not jammed out. So that kind of gives you an idea of the DPS sim. But if you go to Questionably Epic, and you go to Questionably Epic Live in the top left, you now have the same thing, but for healer. So, because I want to compare in dungeon to see what my dungeon is, top gear, use the import section, paste your thread in, submit, and now you can sim for healing. So, I will check this neck and this neck again. I will also go down and I will check the rings, because the rings I had, I wanted to check out. So I was checking I believe it was a Crit Mastery one that actually won out, wasn't it? Okay, Crit Mastery. So I'll check out the ring, and then I also checked out the trinket. This one lets you do more. It lets you select 30 items. So it's, you can actually sim a lot more if I wanted to. So, if you want to click this ring, go up, click a different back piece. I can check out some shoulders, all that fun stuff. You can do a lot more on this one, and I've only used 22 slots out of 30. So it does let you do quite a bit more on it. And this one's instantaneous, pretty much. So going through, and now the nice one about this actually gems it for you with the best gem configuration. So Questionably Epic is a little better for that. But you can see that the combination I was running, this staff will get you 0.02% increase with the back piece. And then, actually, I don't know where the staff part is on mine, because mine I was using for damage. This one does more healing because of the stats, but I was using mine for damage, so it's not even on the list of the top 8 alternatives. But you can see I'm running everything good on this side, and then the neck and the staff are going to be best on the left side, although my neck is not far off with minus 64 HPS, which is 0.03%, the most minuscule amount you could get. And it says your top alternative is very close in value. You could safely wear either without noticing impact on performance, which is absolutely. you wouldn't notice that minor HPS. 64 HPS is nothing. So then you can compare the two. If you want to go back, and you can see the gem. So if you want to put Fierce gem in with 2 crafty Esmerals, whatever they're called. I know I was going to butcher that one. But if you want to sim that on the top gear, you can find out what it would be fully gemmed out as well. So it gives you an option to go back and say, hey, okay, well, I know what my top healing one is. How much damage am I going to lose? And for that, because it's really fast to do, you can just do, if you want to do it really quick and see what your top damage would be with the staff, go back, just click the staff, find top gear, and it will like instantly do it and show you how much you would win or lose. And then you can balance them between the two. So you can balance out, hey, do I want to give up a little more HPS for a little more DPS? Do I want to give up a little less HPS? So this is a 2,862 DPS loss to run that staff for me. Huge loss. And you can go back to this one. We'll take the amulet out just so it's not, doing that. It's actually comparing the gear I'm using. And we'll just go with the staff. Actually, well, I gotta take it all out. Sorry. Just to see the staff. So we'll take out the ring. Take out the other ring. Take out that. I think take out the shoulders, so I'm not wearing those. I forget, I believe I'm wearing the Rowell's back piece. Or am I wearing the other one? No, I'm wearing the bib. Okay. So we sim this, and you can see it's a 1,000 HPS loss or a 3,000 DPS loss. Now this is where you can weigh the odds versus the other one. Do you want to give up that much healing for that much DPS? I said yes. I'd rather have the DPS. It's actually pretty good in keys. Works out a lot. So I gave up 0.45% healing just to switch the staff. And that's the decisions you can make by balancing both DPS and HPS. Now, if you're on a different healer that doesn't do a ton of DPS as well, maybe the decision might be a little different for you. But knowing that you can sim both and find them out is the best thing. So sim your character. Raidbots does one. I'll put the link in the description. Questionably Epic does your healing. And go through. You can switch this to Raid and find out what you do in Raid. You can find out in Dungeon. If you want to run a different build for Raid, you just have to go in, again, copy your build from Simulation Craft once you switched, and then go back. But that is my recommendation. Definitely sim your character if you want to get better. It will dramatically help you out. And then you can have choices to do. So even if a healer, there's no excuse anymore for a healer not to sim. You can find your top HPS gear if you're looking for strictly HPS, or your combination of both if you're looking for HPS, DPS. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe. Deflect, Firm but Fair Gaming. We'll see you in the next video.